5th of February, added video. In this last few days, I've done a lot of readings for a lot of people, as is normally the case, but I'm seeing definite shifts in consciousness. Something's changing. I put this down to the approaching Saturn-Neptune square. Neptune's glamorizing everything. Who knows if what we're getting on the media is spin or real? But there is a consensual approach that makes us all part of a collective species, and we share common attitudes towards revulsion and disgust at some of the things that are happening on this planet at this time, or at least the media that's broadcasting them. Some of the things that Saturn and Neptune are doing at the moment is actually almost reflective of where we were almost exactly 2.5 years ago. When Saturn moved into Scorpio 2.5 to 3 years ago, within a week we were starting to see the eruption of the sex crime scandal involving Jimmy Savile within the UK, which led to large-scale exposure of child abuse, which was endemic throughout Britain at a celebrity level in certain council homes and in establishment circles. The development of this is still ongoing, and Saturn will retrograde back into Scorpio later this year for a month or 3 to furtherly continue that investigation, and there's more stuff to come on that one. But now Saturn's moving into Sagittarius, and all of a sudden stuff around religion and fundamentalism is coming up. A lot of people, especially those born at the start of Virgo, Gemini, Pisces and Sagittarius, they're losing hope, they're losing faith, they're despairing because of some of the things that are happening at the moment. And well, bearing in mind the events of recent months, since Saturn's moved into Sagittarius, the fundamentalism on this planet's become more extreme, and recent developments have kind of pushed us over the edge now. I have not seen this video footage that everyone's talking about, but many of my friends have by accident. Apparently it's everywhere. Many people are looking for this footage of the pilot being burnt alive. I question why people actively look for this. Do they glorify torture? This is not the human condition. Saturn is now almost getting ready to stand still. Another 4 or 5 weeks, he will start going retrograde. Then he will journey back through early Sagittarius, dip into Scorpio for 3 months, before coming back into Sagittarius with a vengeance again, come September, October time. And then, he's going to be serious. This situation cannot last. It is amoral, it is immoral. I particularly find it galling that the political leaders of the world are completely a waste of time and space. Where's the leadership? Muttered condolences. Why aren't we doing something about this? We cannot go back to medieval philosophies. We cannot go back 500 years. We're looking at something that's really threatening to the whole of the species here, about the freedom of belief, the freedom of speech. Saturn square Neptune is going to bring a great deal of confusion, out of which, if previous Saturn-Neptune cycles are observed, will come some type of more social energy, socialist almost. We're seeing the start of this in the birth of democracy, Greece. Already the Greek Prime Minister's got rid of the fleet of limousines. The finance minister, who's been criticised for his lack of dress sense because he's not wearing a tie, is driving around on his BMW. Already they're making massive savings. But of course this is not being reported. Instead, the uncooperativeness with the monetary funds. Watch Spain. Watch Britain. This is the start. Saturn-Neptune is going to bring a much greater degree of equality, but first we have to lance the boils that are being left over from Saturn and Scorpio, both in terms of all the upcoming and ongoing child abuse scandals that have become endemic, especially amongst the more religious side of life in the last 2.5 years, and celebrity life. but also around the fundamentalist issues of everything, whether it is Islam, Christianity, Buddhism, Hebraism, Sikhism, Hinduism, or Greens. Doesn't matter. Fundamentalism, it's not the human condition. It's the result of isolationist, fragmented and fractured souls. And most of us aren't like that. Most of us truly want a better planet, and we want it to be consensual. It's coming. Saturn in Sagittarius will deal with this. Saturn's coming. It's coming. Catch you later.